My name is Dan. I'm 29 years old, and this is the story of the wedding that should have been the happiest day of my life, but turned into the darkest nightmare I could ever imagine. From the outside, everything looked perfect. The venue was a restored mansion with golden chandeliers hanging above silk-draped tables. My friends joked that I had gone all out like a prince. My parents were proud, my family buzzing with excitement, and my bride, well, she looked like something out of a dream. A long white gown, lace veil, and a smile that could melt anyone's heart. But behind that smile, I didn't know she was hiding something. The ceremony started as planned. Music filled the hall. Guests stood to watch us walk in. But when I reached for her hand, I noticed something strange. Her fingers trembled, and her eyes were on me. They were darting around the room, like she was waiting for something or someone. I brushed it off as nerves. I told myself every bride feels overwhelmed. But deep down, my gut twisted. Something was wrong. Then came the vows. When the priest asked if she would take me as her husband, she froze. A silence stretched across the room. People whispered. I squeezed her hand, whispering, "It's okay, just breathe." And then she said it. I can't. The hall exploded in gasps. My heart dropped to the floor. My mother covered her mouth. My father stood up. And my friends looked at me with pity. But I couldn't even move. I just stared at her. "I can't marry you," she repeated, her voice shaking. The priest tried to calm the situation, but the damage was done. I felt humiliated, broken, and angry all at once. I asked her why, desperate for an explanation. That's when she looked me dead in the eyes and whispered words that burned into my brain forever. "You don't know who I really am." The next few minutes were chaos. She dropped her bouquet, ran down the aisle, and disappeared into the night, leaving me standing alone at the altar, in front of everyone I loved. But that wasn't the end. That was only the beginning. Because what I discovered after that night would unravel secrets darker than anything I could have imagined. The wedding hall emptied out like a leaking balloon. Guests whispered, avoiding eye contact. My parents argued in the corner about what the neighbors would say. I just sat there, still in my suit, staring at the aisle she had run down. By midnight, the mansion was silent. Only me, alone, surrounded by flowers that now smelled rotten. I kept asking myself one question. What did she mean by "you don't know who I really am"? The next morning, I drove to her apartment. Empty. Her clothes were gone. Her phone disconnected. It was like she'd never existed. But I knew her, or at least I thought I did. 3 years together, countless nights planning our future. Yet suddenly, I realized I had no idea what her real job was. She always said consulting. No real details. I'd never met her family, not even once. The doubt sank in deep. Who was she? A week later, a man showed up at my door. Suit, sunglasses, no introduction. "You're Dan?" "Yes." "She's not who you think she is." He slid an envelope across the table. Inside were photos, grainy surveillance shots. My fiancée with different men, different cities, different names. In one, she was blonde. In another, brunette. In another, she wore glasses and a business badge that read Evelyn Carter. But her name to me had always been Sarah. "She's a fraud," the man said flatly, "and she's dangerous." Then he left. The envelope became my obsession. Every photo was a puzzle piece. I researched each name, each city, and slowly a pattern emerged. My bride-to-be wasn't just running from me. She had been running her whole life. identity theft, fake businesses, men who claimed she stole thousands, others who claimed she broke their hearts, then disappeared. It hit me. I wasn't her first groom. I was just the latest in her string of lies. One night, my phone buzzed. An unknown number, a single message. "Stop digging, Dan, or you'll regret it." My stomach sank. It was her. She was watching me. Instead of stopping, I set a trap. With a friend's help, I created a fake online profile. Wealthy, single, lonely. Within days, she reached out. Different name, different photo, but the same way of writing. I had her. We agreed to meet at a cafe. I arrived early, nerves shaking through me. When she walked in, dressed in a red coat, pretending to be someone else, my chest tightened. She sat down across from me, and when she finally lifted her eyes, they went wide. "Dan," she whispered. I smiled. Or should I say, "Evelyn." She froze, then laughed. A cold, hollow laugh. "You were never supposed to find out." I leaned forward. "So tell me, who are you, really?" Her smile faded. She whispered, "Someone you should have never trusted." She bolted, just like at the wedding, out the cafe door into the night. But this time, I followed. Through crowded streets, into an alley, until she slipped into a black car that sped away before I could catch the plate. Gone. Again. The police didn't care. To them, I was just a heartbroken groom chasing ghosts. But the man in the suit came back. He wasn't just some random messenger. He was a private investigator, hired by another victim of hers. Together, we built the file. Photos, bank accounts, fake IDs. And finally, one address, her safe house. We found her in a small house outside the city. She didn't run this time. She just stood at the window, watching us approach, like she had been waiting. "Why me?" I demanded. "Why did you do this?" Her eyes softened, just for a second. "Because you believed in me, and people like you make it easy. Cold, calculated, no remorse." The investigator stepped in, badge in hand. "It's over." And for the first time, she didn't move. She just smiled. "No, it's just beginning." The agents took her away. The trial revealed everything. Multiple aliases, dozens of victims, years of fraud. And I had been the last stop before her collapse. But even behind bars, I received one final letter. No return address, just my name on the front. Inside, in her handwriting, "Dan, you'll never forget me. And one day, we'll finish what we started." Months passed. The noise of the trial, the whispers, the endless questions, all of it finally faded. For the first time in years, my life was quiet. No hidden messages, no strange cars outside my window. No haunting letters. I visited the old mansion one last time, the place where everything had fallen apart. The chandeliers were gone, the silk curtains replaced, the hall rented out to strangers with new dreams. Standing there, I realized something important. The wedding didn't define me. Her betrayal didn't define me. I did. Yes, she left scars, emotional ones that would never fully heal. But I also walked away stronger, sharper, and unshakably aware of what trust really means. Grand gestures, perfect smiles, flawless plans, they can all be faked. But the truth? The truth always finds its way out. So here I stand, not as the man who was left at the altar, not as the victim of a con. I stand as someone who survived it, learned from it, and refused to let it destroy him. That chapter of my life is closed. And no matter what shadows from the past try to return, I'll never let them write my story again.